Hello guys, welcome to the Learning Hub with Dr. FKY. In this video, I would like to explain about assigning values to a variable and subsetting in R. And these things are very important before going to data analysis or exploratory data analysis. Uh, you may have a huge data, but you need to choose one variable or one columns, or sometimes you need to choose a specific value. So this will help you in these cases. So let's start, move to our studio. Okay, this I explained about these four panels in the previous lecture. Okay, okay. Now let's clean this as well. This with the control plus L. Okay. Okay, now let's run this, read this data. Suppose we have this data. I will not explain the data. I will just explain that how we can assign values to a variable and how we can do subsetting in OR. I will explain about the different data sets later, maybe in some other lectures, because this is a sequence of lecture with uh, statistic with R for data science. So I just started from the basic installing R Studio, installing packages and four panels of R Studio, and now and today lectures I would like to explain about assigning values to a variable and subsetting in R or R Studio. Okay, so this just you just try to understand this is a variable which have this data. I'm reading this file. This is the path which is already given to the set for the working. I mean that we set a working directory by using this path, and you can see that this file, we reading this file read.csv, and this mean this this is assigning values to this x variable. This mean that we are reading this file, whatever the data is in this file is will be available now in X. So just try to run this command. Okay, this is work perfect. Now I just want to write X, and this will give me, because the data is now in the X, it is assigned in the X variable. So you can assign like this data, assign different variable. So let's see. Okay, you can just check the command head X. Head mean that this will give you a few values, top values of all the data. Just run this command. Yes, this is now you can see that in the first column there is year 1976, 77, and so on. The second column is observed data. The third column is different one GCM, CAN-ASM2. The fourth column is another GCM. Fifth column is another GCM. Sixth column is another GCM. And the last column is another GCM, the output of that GCM. This is about climatic stream, but I will not talk about that now at this time. Now, sometimes you have huge data and you need one or two columns. Then how you can choose about those columns? Let me check. Let me start first from the column, then from the row, and then you can choose a specific value. Let me say X. Suppose I'm choosing this value. This value which is highlighted, that is 0.00. Look, you need to check the location of this value, just like the coordinate, the latitude and longitude. This is our assign a value of 2 to the row. So you can, I will just write this, the name for this x2 mean row number 2, and column number is 1 2 3 4, column 4. I'm just keep the name like x24. You can keep any name. There is no restriction on this. So this x24, and now I'm assigning a value from the variable x, because this variable has a name x to which the data is assigned, that is x. And now with these brackets, and now you can write the first element you mention here is row, so 2, comma, the second element you mention as column. You should know, this is very important, that this thing, that you should mention the name of the variable, then inside the bracket the first element show the row number and the second element show the column number. So this will give you a specific value. This is just like the coordinates, latitude and longitude. Just run this. Okay, now you, because you assign this value at this position, I mean that at this position of row and column, that is x24. So just write x24, run this, and this will give you that value, that is 0.00, right? I think this is understandable. Now let me choose this value. What is the row? The row number is 4 and the column number is 5, because this was 4, so this is fifth column. Just write x45, assign this value to the x45 from the variable with the locations, that is 4 and 5. 4 and 5. So this means that this value now, this is row 4th and 5th column, this will be assigned to x45. Just click this, and now you can write x45 just to see that value is 105, is 105.7, this one. In this way you can choose a specific value from the huge data set. Okay, this is about some specific values. Now let's move that how we can subset a column, a row, and I will do the column at the end. How you can choose a column, specific column from the data. This is easy if you understand this, that how you can choose a specific value by using row numbers and column numbers. You can do for rows as well. Let me suppose I want to choose the first row. Assign using these symbols. You can write this, the variable, and I'm choosing the row. Remember that the first number in this expression is for row. That is obviously row, and choose the column empty. This means that all the values of the column. This means the first row of the data. Just click this now x1. You can see the first row. Yes, this is 1976, and then the values of the data sets. And you can see by the way, you can see here R assign 1 to this. This is the first row, second, third, and fifth. So let me choose the sixth row, the last one. X6, assign this value to X6 and empty. You can see that X6, you can just compare this, or you can again write head X, so you will see. Okay, now you can compare and just wait. This is sixth row 1981, and this is sixth row. So the value is 52, 52, 1139, 1139, 21, 512, 512, and at the end 112, 112. So you can choose rows in this way. Any row, if you are interested in any row, you can do like this one. Now at the end, I would like to explain about columns. It's the same, in the same fashion you can use column. Just remain the first position empty, where we put the number of rows, and just mention the columns which you want to choose. Let me say like this, x1. Again, I'm using again and again the same thing. You can choose different name. This is up to you. Let me assign this to the variable. And this time now I need to keep this empty. You can give a space before here, or you don't need to give a space. It does not make any difference. Now I'm using, suppose, the first column. That is, of course, the the year of the data. The first column is the year of the data. You can choose here. You can just try HEAD X. So the first column is year, and you can subset year by using this way. Just need to left to make empty the row position and put a value of the column position in which column you are interested. Let me say there are 8 columns, so just I want to choose this column. Suppose I'm interested in this data only. Let me choose this one. and this is 1 2 3 4, fourth column. So x4, and now x, keep it empty, and then write 4, and you can see that x4, that is that column. You can see, by the way, you can check the values. This is fourth column. Yes, this is fourth column, 1 2 3 4. So the values are 43.50, 39.9, and so on. So you can choose in this way columns as you want, maybe more than one. So x, like, so 3 4, you can say okay. No, no, no. Okay, so this is something about subsetting, about if you can choose rows, you want to choose some rows, some columns, or whatever. Next thing is, the other way is to choose the column or the variable. Normally we have data, we have the variables in the column, so you can choose in the other way as well. Let me suppose I want to choose the column 4. I can assign like this, x, and now I need to write dollar sign, and now I need to know the name of the column or the variable. So I have these values because R is intelligent enough that it provide the number of the name of the list of the name of the variables. Maybe for row we don't mention the variables. Maybe in some data this is, but not usually. So you can do like this. Simply just take this one. Okay, suppose I want to, I'm interested in this one. So this is the fourth. Just click on this, and you will have x4 now. This is another way. Yes, of course, that is the same thing. How you can do this? Just write the name to which you assign the data, then write the variable. This is the variable now with us, that is x, in which the data is stored, and then write dollar sign, and then what variable or column you want to extract, but you should know the name of the variable in this case. In the other case, it's not necessary to remember the name, but R can help you. You can choose. Now suppose you want to choose x7, seventh column. So you can do like this, x dollar sign, and R will provide all the names. So 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I'll just choose this one, and you can see that x7, just press x7, and you will have this, the seventh column of the data. This was all about subsetting, about from some data, about specific value rows and columns by using two methods. Now suppose you have some character vector or something like that. Let me suppose create, like, assign a values to like this, that is a, b, c, d, and suppose e. So now I have different data, that is something, a vector of these characters. Like you can write x, so you can see like this. Now you can subset x. This is a vector, this is not a matrix. The above data which we explained, that was some sort of matrix form, or you can say data frame. So now you can see that x1, what is x1 now? I mean, just write the one because this is a vector. So this is a. So you can subset like this. Similarly, x2, it will definitely be, or you can subset multiple values like this. You can just write 1 to 4. You can see different values. So you can subset like this. And now also you can subset, you can assign this values to some variable, like suppose I will just change the name of this. And now x and to x, I will just apply logical operator, that is a. What I'm doing this means that I'm assigning all the values to xx. This is just the name of the file. You can keep your name or any other name, whatever. So it does not make any difference. I'm assigning all the values which are greater than a. And I mean that b, c, d, and e, they are greater than a in this case. There are no specific values, but we are just assuming this. So these all values are now assigned in xx. That's right. You can see b, c, d, e. So this is all about subsetting. This is very important before going for data analysis, because you need to assign some time. You need to choose a variable. You need, in some cases you may need to choose a row, or you may need to choose a specific value. And particularly the important thing is to choose a variable. So you can choose in different ways, different method which I explained. I hope this will help you in your data analysis. If you like the content, please subscribe the lecture, and see you in the next lecture. Ciao.